let's say someone's in this situation right now. Either they're considering their spouse going on Medicaid, or they're looking at a looming nursing bill, or maybe their children looking out for their single parent. Talk them through the process. Like, what have you seen as a normal process, and how would you like them to go about it?
Well, you mean in terms of making sure they're
protected, and maybe reaching out to experts, like how do they find a great elder care attorney or an accountant?
Right. Well, so you can go to your local bar association. There's lawyer referral. You can ask them for a list of elder law attorneys in your county and the neighboring county and that kind of thing. There's a lot of firms like ours, small solo practitioners. I would advise people to find an attorney who does just this. It's a very technical area of law with things that change very quickly. It shouldn't be a sidelight for that attorney. It should be someone who does only elder law, estate, and probate. And it's kind of usually people weave those practices together, but you don't want to find somebody that's kind of a personal injury lawyer that knows a little bit about this.
Right. Not all law is created equal.
Yeah, I mean, even those of us who do this every day, it's it's a challenge to.
It's not
keep
like
up
you
with
would go and
changes.
litigate things today, right? Or
right, exactly, right. I try to stay in my lane, so I really urge people to do that. Like I said, there's a lot of good solo practitioners. We're in Montgomery County. We have a great elder law bar, but Chester, Bucks, all around here. And if you don't have somebody that can refer you word of mouth and say, I worked with this person, they were good, start with your bar association. That's always a good resource. And so I think it's important to talk to an attorney, not, someone who says they're a Medicaid specialist. Again, I'm not trying to just make a shameless plug for attorneys, but, you have responsibilities that, we have fiduciary and ethical responsibilities that require, keep us in line. That if you're not a practicing attorney, but you call yourself a Medicaid specialist, you want to make sure you're talking to an attorney. I think it's
Medicaid specialists, like, where would you typically find them? Are they part of nursing homes?
I think no. I think, and I don't hear about this as much in Pennsylvania. I think I'm reacting to things I've heard from talking to people in other states, because I think Pennsylvania has established that can be borderline practice of law without a license, and we kind of police that very well. Talk to people in New York, Florida, other places. So. It may not be an apropos warning as much here as it might be in another state, if you're looking at this in another state.
But like anything, you want to find someone who knows what they're doing, who you can trust, and who's an expert in their field.
Yeah.
And there's a certain level of credibility that comes from being an attorney. Number one, you had to pass all the exams and do all the research, but then also being in the elder care field itself.
Right.
There's a lot of small details that need to be.
Right. I mean, I think the other important thing is that that as I said earlier, I'm just giving kind of the generic view of this, but what you're looking for is to take those rules and apply. Everybody's situation is different, and so and you should want this in any attorney. They should be listening, doing a lot of listening. At least the first time they meet you, to hear what your situation is, and make sure you're putting it all out there, because they're not going to be able to advise you if you're holding things back, or not holding things back, but just, so many of these things are contingent on your life circumstances and what you should do and what not do. And
And what should they do to prep for that meeting? Like, what do you want?
Some attorneys will send you out a questionnaire ahead of time that will ask you, you need to make sure you have all the information, you're being forthcoming about what all your assets are and things like that. Or they'll just, interview you about that and be asking you. But they should be listening to not just knowing about your finances, but everything that's going on with your family, to be able to get the best information from you to give you the best advice. So, someone who's a good listener. And again, what we try to have our clients walk away from this with is good information as it applies to their particular circumstances, and to make the best decisions they're making the decisions, but they need good information to make those decisions. And so, we'll put together like a memo and say, okay, here's the Medicaid rules. So you have a little cheat sheet that you can
Nice.
leave here with to say, all those things I just talked about before about eligibility requirements and what you can and can't do, that applies to everybody. And then here's your circumstances. So based on that, here's a number of ways you can go. And then it's up to them. They have to decide what's going to be best for them.